Okay, welcome to Dumb SEO Questions. Each week we meet to answer the questions asked on the SEO Questions community on Google+. With us tonight we have David Rozam. David is an SEO copywriter of 30 years experience, 10 of it in SEO. Is that a good description, David?
I've been copywriting for 30 years. I've been SEO copywriting for about 12, I guess.
Okay.
And sometimes I introduce myself as someone who does online business development. So there you go.
Okay, and your website is writingforseo.co.uk.
.org.
Writingforseo.org?
Yes.
I'm
international in my writing for SEO.
I'll get it right eventually. Now, Edwin Jonk is CEO of IDEST in the Netherlands. That's IDESTHOST.nl. Masataki Wasa is the CEO of WasaWeb Corporation. He runs a website, wasaweb.net, and he's also a Google Top contributor on the AdSense and Google Plus Help communities. Rob Mars is also a Google Top contributor in Search and AdWords in Dutch. He's an AdWords aficionado from the Netherlands. And Tim Capper, well known to be, or apparently known to be, a confidant of Vladimir Putin, and he does reputation management for the rich and not so rich, and also he's a conversion rate optimization specialist and the world's greatest SEO. And look, I can't read the rest of your writing here, Tim. I'll try and get it right for next week. Okay, so we answer the questions that are asked on the SEO Questions community on Google+. Our first one this week is a question from Valentina Huff, a question about Webmaster Tools. And Valentina asks that once you've added all versions of your website, www, non-www, etc., is it okay to remove these versions, or do you have to keep them all in? And I've got a follow-up question to that, guys, because it's become a bit obscure lately. What about HTTPS now? Should we also be adding a HTTPS version, or is Webmaster Tools handling that now? You've gone on strike, haven't you? I see. Was it something I said?
Actually, I'm thinking, I'm not sure, because if you have to, you can verify the .www and the non-.www separately, but I don't think it's needed. But I'm not sure about that one. Do you know that, Rob?
If I understand what you said correctly, I'm fairly sure that you do have to have at least two separate sites for www and non-www. Is that what you said, Edwin? I probably got that wrong.
Yeah, you can have different websites on www and non-www and verify them separately. But I'm not sure if you have to verify them. Or if they, yeah.
I'm probably not the person to get involved in this, but I thought you set up all the various forms, www, non-www, HTTPS, HTTPS, etc. I can't see the point of removing them once you've set them all up, though.
Well, the problem is, of course, that Google doesn't display them all together in the Webmaster Tools report. It might be, 10 lines down. You're always trying to figure out, have you done this, not done that. And in fact, Google Webmaster Tools is appalling in its design. I mean, everybody is going to have everyone with a website that's www will also automatically have to have non-www. Why the bloody hell can't Google Webmaster Tools just handle that automatically? It's the same for everybody. Why put everybody through all this crap? Anyway. Sorry to interrupt there. I just wanted to clarify. Valentina wants to know, is it okay to remove the versions, or should you keep them in?
Well, I'd say keep them in, but as I say, I'm probably not the person to.
It depends. It depends on which one he's showing. So, let's assume that his main site is www, and his non-www version is correctly, redirected or canonicalized back to the www version. Therefore, there is only one version of your site that's technically live. So, in that instance, I really don't see the point of having the non-www version in Webmaster Tools, because it won't actually be really showing anything that's any different, because the non-www version 301 redirects back to the www. So essentially, there's no real point in that. So he could get rid of that one, but that's assuming that he's correctly, depending on which version his site displays. So, from my point of view, look, it's not going to make a difference, but, you don't actually need the other one.
Now, what about HTTPS and non-SSL?
Well, the same thing's going to apply there. So let's assume you've got you've converted over to HTTPS. Essentially you're going to be redirecting everything to the HTTPS version. And then once that's, fully run through, you're going to need, then I would obviously add that to Webmaster Tools.
Well, with HTTPS, I would verify them both. Because basically it is somewhat of a side move from HTTP to HTTPS, and I would keep an eye on the 404 errors.
I would. Yeah, definitely. So keep them around for a couple of months, and then once everything's, migrated across properly, then you could get rid of the www if you wanted to. I mean, it's not going to make a difference if you have them all three in Webmaster Tools. The point is, it's just, you don't really need them.
So
okay.
Are you saying? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, David Roseanne.
Okay. You've got this set up properly with a 301 redirect or other methods, that if you've got 3 or 4 different variations in Webmaster Tools, you'll only have one with traffic in or data in, and the rest will become 0 because it's all properly redirected.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
essentially.
if that, I'm not sure if that will happen though. I mean, if you do a site report, even if you've got the pages properly redirected, Google is still finding those pages and putting them in a site report for months and months and months after you've done the redirection. So, in a lot of cases, for at least for some portion of time, they're going to be going to that old site. Would that be fair to say?
Well, if it's correctly 301, so let's say your site used to be non-dub-dub-dub. Now you've 301'd it in HT access because everything is going to resolve to the dub-dub-dub version. Googlebot will, in theory, follow that 301 redirect. They'll come along and go, no, fuck it, this is the one we've got to go to.
Sorry, Valentina, I didn't mean to let Tim say that.
Sorry. So, yeah, look, if you've just, done the two, but the point is, leave it there for a couple of months. It's not going to make a difference. Leave it there for eternity. It's not going to make a difference. But, of course, the site that you're serving, whether it be dub-dub-dub or non-dub-dub-dub, that is ideally the one that you are going to be looking at all the time. The others will become irrelevant over time.
Excellent. All right, guys, will we move on from this one now? I'm recording that as a yes. Here's a question from Kumbarai Masanganais, who asks how to generate revenue from a Mobi site through ads. Can anyone share any ideas?
It sounds as if he needs a whole business strategy for this site.
Yes, and until a site has a lot of traffic, it's hard going trying to earn any serious money using something like AdSense. But beneath AdSense, there are a whole host of ad servers of varying integrity. What I'd be saying to Kumbarai is first of all, get your website pumping, and
how much traffic
then start thinking about ads, because ads are a turn-off, and also that they cause you to prioritize the layout of your page and so on. You're probably better off without ads until you have a serious a serious amount of traffic. All right, Kumbarai, I'm sorry that we don't have a better answer for you, but the state of with what people are paying for ads and so on, it's really not a big earner, or at least it's not as big as it used to be. Those halcyon days of $600 a day and $1,000 a day earnings, they're all gone. They just don't happen right now. Oh, I'm sure they do for some of the very big sites, but you want a lot of traffic to generate anything significant. All right, let's move on to question number 3. It's titled DMCA Reports. He said, it's C.E. Schultz, and he's asking a question. He said, I have a question for the great oracles of search. Now, straight away, you've got to like this guy. He's obviously perceptive. He obviously knows what he's talking about. But anyway, It's regarding a link to my website. Google Webmaster Tools is reporting a link from a site called persianwet.ir. If I go to the link pages, the site is essentially copying all of my content on their website. I have already sent in a disavowal for the entire domain, but I was wondering what else could be done or should be done.
Yeah, DMCA the bastards straight off. There are, yeah, and Victor put your link in there for the DMCAs.
Yeah.
There's also other couple of sites out there which they just like that you can report DMCAs. I think fraud link or something like that. Your main priority is your DMCA. The other ones where you want to submit it is kind of revenge sites. So basically they highlight people that have scraped content, people that have violated copyright, fraud link, things like that you can add them to. So do your DMCA first, get a takedown on that, and then depending how offended you feel, you can go and add their domain to a lot of these other sites that report them as fraudsters, copyright thieves, scrapers, whatever you want to call them, buggers. That's what they are.
Okay. You go on, Edwin.
The main problem with scrapers is when they rank above your website. So I would make sure that Google index your site or your page first over the scraped site. What you can do is fetch this Googlebot in Webmaster Tools and then add that to the index. I don't know how many web pages or articles you write on a daily basis or weekly basis, so that it might be a little bit hard labor, but at least you know that you're indexed first before the scraper.
Right.
Another thing you can do is add rel alter, so that at least you get a link back if the scrape site doesn't remove the rel alter link, and the rel canonical, of course, but normally they remove that. So.
Okay. Before we move on, I'm bound to say that Masataki Wasa has reported in chat that if Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs are watching, he does not own a company, Wasa Web Corporation, and he does not have a Swiss bank account. Right, moving on from C. Schultz's question, and I hope that's the answer you were looking for. Here's one from John Dawes. John has got a question on tweets in Google. He said, so you've probably seen tweets will appear in Google. The thing is, some tweets are already indexed. So what is the difference going to be?
There's not actually going to be really much of a difference, I don't think. They're going to have essentially what this is so essentially what this is Googlebot. If the amount of time that Googlebot would be crawling Twitter would just because there's like tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet, it would just be forever. So there's just they've just got like a direct funnel or pipeline to it. They once they've crawled it, it's still going to go through an algorithmic process in the sense that if you're a nobody, you're like, do you know what I mean? It's going to still theoretically go through the same algorithmic process, and invariably, like anything, and even like a website, they will invariably be looking at the more active, the more engaged, the more authoritative, whatever you want. I don't know what you call people on Twitter. Tweeters? Twats? I don't know. So the point is, nothing really is going to change. The more high authority ones would probably be indexed more regularly, more frequently, and they'll be appearing more. But the lower down the pecking order you are, it's, you might get one or two indexed here or there. They might appear actually visibly, not page 5066. So it's not really going to be there's not going to be any difference per se. It will just, in Google's sense, they will be able to crawl it without, killing Twitter by just sitting on it day in, day out, crawling it.
Okay. You thought I'd gone to sleep there, I know. Okay, moving on to the next. John Does, I hope that's the answer you're looking for. Just waiting for it to come up. This is titled, Can we target the same keyword phrase on two different sites? Athanasius Giannius asks, hi everyone, I have having a bilingual site. Can we target the same keyword phrase on both versions? Is this harmful from an SEO point of view or confusing for Google? Thanks everyone.
I mean, yes, you can target the same keyword phrases, but then they're in different languages, so they aren't going to be exactly the same, unless we're talking about brand names. But otherwise, sort of generic keyword phrases are going to be different in different languages. So I think that's not. I cannot see how that could be an issue or how that can confuse Google. What would be interesting is if you have variations in the same language. So let's say you have an English site, but you have localized versions. So you may have a localized page for the US, for the UK, and Australia. Then you might have variances. In such cases, then you'd have to use hreflang to mark up which version is which.
Or you could differentiate. So on the UK site, you would have the title and you'd end it with in it. On the Australian one, you'd end it with g'day.
Yeah, in it. So in this case,
go ahead, Mr. Taki.
In his case, I think it's English and Greek. So, they're going to be different languages, so I wouldn't really worry about it. Because and I think he runs a bike site, bicycle, I think. So, if people are searching for brand bicycle, if the word bicycle in English is bicycle, and it's going to be something else in Greek. So, again, if it's a phrase, I really cannot see how that confusion could arise for Google. in 2 languages.
Yeah,
Okay.
just make sure they're properly translated, and obviously the country's terminology, you know, goes with the proper translation rather than, yeah, it's exactly what Massa was saying. Anyway, moving on.
Well, looking at you know, I mean, something that you're very familiar with, Tim. Are 2 keywords the same in 2 languages? Like, for argument's sake, in Cyrillic, what the word in English wouldn't be the same in Russian, would it?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Thank you. Athanasius Giannis, if we need to say more, please ask again on the SEO Questions community on Google+. Our next question is redirecting domains from asked by Zach Hanebrink. He said, I have my own opinion, but would love to hear you all's. One of our developers just forwarded 600 domains to our website. What are your thoughts on that? I know it won't really have any positive effect. My question would be, if you know it won't have any positive effect, why did you do it? But anyway, he wants to know, would that raise a flag to Google? The domains are just domains that have never had a website on them. I wouldn't be too sure about that. He said, thanks for your input.
I honestly don't see how you could, like, point 600 domains. You know, if for example you sold yellow submarines, and your brand is called, I don't know, the Yellow Submarine. Now, you know, I can understand it makes sense to protect your brand if you get get different TLDs. So you would get yellowsubmarine.net, .co.uk, .com, .org, and then, you know, that makes sense. It also makes sense occasionally, you know, especially for e-commerce sites, you know, to look at a couple of other domains where there might be a bit of a misspelling. So, I don't know, five domains, 6 domains? I honestly don't know what the other 600 are. So, for example, if you were redirecting by my Yellow Submarine, or we are the best Yellow Submarine, well, okay, I can get that one. But you know what I mean? Are you actually forwarding totally non-related, absolute junk URLs, domains rather, to that? I mean, personally, I don't believe, well, I don't actually know how Google would treat that in that essence. Google reserves the right to look at everything. And if you are, you know, really taking the biscuit with this, they might just go, you know what, that is, you know, a spam tactic, and, you know, you've got a little tick next to your name now. I don't know if that does happen, but Google reserves the right, you know, to do this.
Yeah,
so if it was me, I wouldn't. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to me.
My question. You go ahead, David Roseanne.
Yeah, it seems to me that someone's spent a lot of time diverting all these, and there's not very much. There's not very much upside, and there's potentially a very big downside, as Tim just pointed out. So, personally, I would get the person who did the 600 domains to make them point somewhere else. I don't know that this is a problem, but it's just the sort of thing that Google tends to say, don't like that, penalise time. So I'm basically Tim.
I know there's an SEO in Brisbane who was redirecting keyword-rich domains to his site, and to good effect last year. But if Zach is saying that these are just domains that have never had a website on them, you know, you would redirect a domain for the links that are flowing to it, and for the association with certain keywords. To me, it just doesn't make sense. The 600 domains is a minimum $6,000 a year. I'm struggling with it. Anyway, Zach, yeah, that's the best we've got. Anybody else with anything to add on this one? Okay, on with the next. When I was typing this out, I trying to figure out what the intention was. But anyway, this is from Serge Daynold, who asks a question regarding having a home page which is not the root page. He said, I tried to find information about a website that makes a 301 redirect from the home page, like for argument's sake www.abc.com, to a secondary page that becomes the home page, as in www.abc.com/boutique, and the impact on SEO. Is there somebody who can help me? Thanks.
Well, there's not going to be an impact on SEO. You're just simply redirecting one page to another page, regardless of whether this is the actual main domain to an internal page on it. There's not. Google will index one. You're telling them that the boutique page is actually your, your domain, and that theoretically is the one that's going to be indexed. As Rob quite rightly just pointed out in the chat, Google also sometimes decides which is the most relevant page to show on the site. Now, in this instance, let's say they say, okay, we see your redirect, but we're not going to accept your redirect, and they still might show the home page. So, but it's not really going to make an actual difference on SEO. The difference will come in what's displayed in, the SERPs, what people are going to click on, and how they will interact and engage with that page. So, yeah.
Interesting comment. As you know, people answer these questions through the week on the SEO Questions community on Google+, and then we cover them off in our Hangout every Thursday night. But Nevyana Karakashiva said something interesting in his response to this question. He said, it appears to me that they're trying to strengthen the /boutique page and funnel all the link juice they have, the home page being the strongest concentrator of inbound links to it. If this category /page is their top seller and all the other products are somewhat on the background, or they merely complement this product, then it is an interesting approach to test, actually. Yeah, I guess it is. It would be interesting to test. To me, it seems it would mess up the flow of page rank throughout the site.
Yeah, sure, but but there are better ways to do it than getting rid of your homepage. If your homepage is like a real authority page, if you've got, like loads of links pointing to it, why don't you, there's an easy way. You segment your links, you find out who's talking about the boutique side of it. So if you've got 10,000 links pointing to your homepage, then you go through all your links and find out who's actually talking about the boutique page, and then you approach them and say, right, thank you so much for da da da, but this is our actual boutique page, and it'd probably make more sense if people were directed to that, and you reach out to them. There's so many other ways of doing it. Especially, it would just be nonsensical for me if it's like, well, it's actually a slap in the face, because if 10,000 people are mentioning you and linking to your homepage, and then you go, fuck it, thanks, but we don't actually like your link, and then send it to a boutique page, that's not what that person intended. Could you lose links? Could you stop gaining any more links? That's another way to look at it.
Well, what I think happened is they might use a CMS like WordPress, and you pick your a page as a home page, and then you basically have two home pages. One your home page and the page in the CMS itself, which is in this case the boutique one. So they thought, instead of redirecting /boutique to the homepage, they redirected the homepage to the boutique page. And I would choose to redirect to the root instead of the page. Does that make sense, or?
You always make sense, Edwin Yonk. Okay. Well, Serge, I think it's an interesting question, but I think that's all we have for you at this stage.
Well, I would prefer a shorter URL, and the root is shorter, so.
Yeah. In the chat, Rob Mars said, I think he's having trouble with his microphone, but he said, in such cases, Google sometimes decides to show the root website. It could look attractive in search engine results pages. There are lots of ifs. He said, I can imagine it to work, but if you have a not so well-known brand and add the product to it, brand.com/product name. Now I'm lost, Rob. I didn't get the punchline there. Anyway, moving on to Mike Cook's question on Google Webmaster Tools authentication. He said, this is just a general question. I have a client who can't remember the details for his old Google account, which has the Webmaster Tools in with all the link data I need to clean the profile up. There is no chance of getting this account back for a multitude of reasons. However, we have created a new Google account for him and wondered how long it would take for the link data to start filtering through, as at present there is none. That is my first question. In anyone's experience, how long does it take for the data to filter through? And my second question was an alternative to Webmaster Tools, as I was just going to use Moz, but is there a better tool for getting all of the links harvested? While you guys are gathering your thoughts, Dave Elliott answering in the community said, Majestic SEO is my favorite link source, much better than Moz. although Moz has lots of additional features and it is a better, cheap all-rounder. I think Webmaster Tools will start giving you data after 24 hours or so. And to that, Mike Cook responded, yes, that's what I thought, but nothing has come through, and it has been a few weeks now. Look, the suggestion I'd have for Mike, just sorry to interrupt, Tim, I'll just get this out. My suggestion, Mike, would be to make sure that there are no verifications sitting in like verification files either in the website folder or in the website DNS, and that might be holding it up if they've still got active verifications to the account that you can't access. Sorry, Tim, go ahead.
I mean, I've never come across this question of someone losing their account for analytics or webmaster tools, so I've never had a look around. But there has to be support for analytics support or whatever, that they would then over the phone or somehow re-verify the account and send, attach it to a new account for you. I know that can be done with local pages if you've lost your account details. So they would do this with analytics, and I'm sure that I would have got the account back rather than going through all of this.
Rob is saying Webmaster Tools shows the history in the new account. I think Dave Elliott said that too. That they will slowly give you that data after 24 hours. I think it can even be up to 48 hours before you see all the data in the new account. But I'm not sure about Google Analytics. Do you know that, Rob?
Yes, but Mike said in the chat that, let me see his comment, he said nothing has come through and it has been a few weeks now.
Oh, that's a problem. Well, Analytics doesn't provide the history on the new account. Then I'm lost as well, Jim.
Right, well, let's call that a wrap. Mike, sorry we couldn't be more forthcoming for you. I see you've answered some other questions tonight, so we'll hope to do better in those. This one's titled Negative SEO or Hacked Site. My first thought when looking at it was this was negative SEO. But Pelagic came in with the real answer, and that was a hacked site. So you guys might want to look at the comments from the SEO Questions community. Sajid Iqbal asks, a page on my website seems to have been spammed, i.e. out of the blue there are around 110,000 backlinks to this one page from weird websites. I have deleted the page. The question is, do I need to do anything else, or will Google realize the page is gone and therefore the links are no longer relevant? Thanks. He's a useful resource, Pelagic. I'm very glad and grateful that he or she is.
Look, the thing is, Sahid obviously is unsure of how to, remove that script. So it's, looking at the conversation, he thinks it's just about deleting the page. Well, no. In that case, I would get a developer to, actually get this sorted properly.
Yeah. Anybody else? Well, Sajid, if Pelagic has told you this, you should consider that as guilt-edged, and your site, if your site is still hacked, you must use professional help to recover. All right, our next question tonight is question number 10 on our run list from Sarab Rawat, who says Google Webmaster Tools doesn't show all clicks. How to find the rest of clicks? On the SEO Questions community on Google+, David Cohen said, "You are right, but first get out the filter web and click on the cross." And Sarab responded saying that he could now see a total of 98 clicks and displaying 15. David Cohen said Google doesn't want to show the long tail. David Cohen seems fairly clued up. Nobody to respond to this one? Okay, Sarab, yeah, David's responses I can see on the community have helped you already, Sarab. Moving on to the next one, it's titled IIS Search Engine Optimization Toolkit. Mike said, a quick question, I'm currently working on quite a few projects and I'm after a service that I haven't really seen too much. Does anyone know of a site or service from someone which can go through a site and rip it apart for any errors or issues? I'm feeling a little can't see the wood for the trees at the moment, and with a few jobs on it, and some thought that something like this could help. And of course, the IIS Search Engine Optimization Toolkit is a perfect example. You'll need to install IIS on your laptop first, and then add the plugin, and it will crawl any site and provide you with almost infinitely drillable information on every part of the site. Absolutely brilliant for picking up the site.
I think you've said it all, Jim.
Yeah, I think so too. Although Dave Elliott came along later and suggested Screaming Frog. It's also another good crawling tool.
And there is a new version of Screaming Frog.
I was talking to Richard Hearn earlier on tonight, just before the hangout began. We were talking about this question, and he said that he didn't mention their names, but there are 2 or 3 new tools that are very good that he's trialing at the moment. And yes, we should be trying to get an example or a copy of these new tools to trial them ourselves. Okay, moving on to the next. So Matt Staton asks a question on launching a new site. He said, I'm in need of some help. I'm launching a new project at www.toothfairyontheshelf.com. Right now, it's a coming soon site, and it was increasing its ranking nicely, and even held the #1 position for a few days for the keywords Tooth Fairy on the Shelf and The Tooth Fairy on the Shelf. But now it's nowhere to be found on Google. It's still indexed, and he gives a URL which can be seen on the SEO Questions community on Google+. He said that there was another domain that was used as a dev server that was inadvertently indexed. This was caught early before we got slapped or sandboxed, whatever. He said, I did a 301 redirect and even a change of address too. That domain was VARA99.com. It's not indexed anymore. He said, I think it's just sandboxed, and once we launch the new site with more pages and content, will it recover? Any thoughts or ideas you have on making it recover faster are greatly appreciated. Thanks. Anybody? Okay. Well, Matt, I think Rajeshwar Reddy in the comments on the site provided a good answer. I think what you may have experienced is the honeymoon effect of a new site. And that is when a new site appears, Google will give it an unnatural boost to see how that site appears in search. And running it as a coming soon site, that's not likely to produce a good user experience, and you may have shot yourself in the foot a little there. But certainly I wouldn't be concerned about the honeymoon effect because it happens to everybody. You get an initial boost and then you disappear for a little while and then return to the index in the location that Google judges you to be. All right, moving on to the next is a question from Chanel Watson. Homepage error. Hi everyone, I recently changed over to WordPress and thought I had completed all the redirects. The old pages were .html. My site rankings dropped and have been rebuilding slowly. What I didn't realize is that I hadn't redirected my /index.html, and this page for 2 months was showing as a 404. This was the main page with the highest authority and links by far. So previously the index HTML was ranking at 11 for a competitive phrase. I managed to get it up to 39 again, and now I have linked the index to the new page ranking at 39. 3 questions. 1, will I be penalised for leaving that main page as a 404 for so long? Number 2, should this lead to an increase in rankings? And 3, how long should this take to see the results? Thanks so much, everyone. Just direct you to the chat there, Tim. Oh, no, Tim's gone. Okay.
Well, I would have expected there to be some rankings dropped as just after the site was migrated, but over time, over not big time, they should get back to where they were. So if I think that the question is, it doesn't actually say here if there's been any effect here. Will I be penalised for leaving the main page as 404 for so long? But it sounds as if you haven't been yet. If you haven't been yet, I don't think that you will see this. I think that get everything right. Technically, get all those redirects in, recheck them and recheck them again, and then sit back. I think that you'll get back to where you were.
Yes, I think so too. But the question is, how long do you think to answer question part 3 of this question, David?
This is the question, isn't it? When you do this SEO work, how long will it be before I rank at number 1? As long as Google decides to keep you waiting, it's impossible to say.
And I'm not sure if it is really a problem, because index HTML and just root on most hosts give the same content or the same page. So basically Google would pick the index.html or the root. Normally Google picks the root. So I'm a little bit surprised that Google would send traffic to /index.html instead of the root.
Maybe the previous hosting had how would I put it, an explicit index HTML and nothing on the main domain. If you see what I mean, would that do it?
Yeah, I would now redirect the index.html to the root now.
Yeah, that seems.
If that would lead to increase in rankings, I don't know. I'm not sure.
It depends if someone's sold the idea of, well, if you go on to WordPress is SEO friendly, and you should see much better results than your old platform. Is there an expectation here? I don't know.
right, Chanel. I hope that's enough for you. I feel sure with a little bit more time we could do better. But at this stage, that's what we have for you. Moving on to the next question. This is a question from Julio Marquez, who said, hello guys, I plan to add a WordPress blog beside my website, and I need some technical help from your side. Should I locate the blog as a subdomain like blog.site.com, or add a new folder after the website root like site.com/blog? I have also some questions that I believe will come after adding the blog to my site as the following. Do I need to submit the blog sitemap again to Google beside the first sitemap of my root domain? Do I need to change anything on robots.txt? Would I face any problem if Google detects two sitemaps and two robots in my domain? What is the best option should I follow concerning adding a blog to my root domain? Well, I'll just jump in quickly and say you can have as many sitemaps as you want in the root directory. You can cover specific folders or whatever. All you need to do make sure is that the first sitemap, the one that you mentioned in robots.txt, make sure that that first one is an index to all of the other folders. But the blog, even though it's coming from a different database, it's still considered as part of just a subfolder of your root domain, and so I wouldn't be concerned if it had, you can have it in a separate sitemap or not. It doesn't really matter.
Actually, the first question is whether to put it in a subdomain or in a folder. Don't put it in a subdomain if you're wanting to get some SEO leverage out of your blog. That's effectively on a separate domain, and put it in site.com/blog, and then everything that Jim says applies.
Thanks, mate. Very kind of you.
Well, that was technical stuff. Don't do technical stuff, as you know.
Anybody else? Okay, moving on to the next. It's from Don Sturgill regarding 301s in HT Access. Don said, moving a site from page names that look like this, somesite.com/home HTML to WordPress and dropping the page.html, maybe a dozen pages. I understand the best way is HT Access from searching and watching this community. But when I search on how to do that, I see different examples of how to write the 301s. I tried one and it didn't work. Any direction on how to get it done?
Sling in any of a number of 301 redirect plugins. You say you've only got 12 pages. Dead easy. Just put the origin or the original one with the .html and redirect it to the new one. I have one called, I think, just redirects on one of my own sites. It works perfectly, and if it may be that you can't get a .ht access with your hosting anyway, so with WordPress, the plugin is the general fallback, although in theory HT access is preferable amongst those who like to give us geeky things to do. That's it.
Yep. Anybody else? I hope, Don, that's enough for you. Next question is another one from Athanasius Giannis. Is there any other way to 100% block a site from all search engines? Athanasius said, "Hi everyone. I have a test site which is 100% duplicate of my live site. I mainly use this site for testing, uploading new modules, etc. I have blocked this site with a robots text file. But when using site:/mytestsite.com, it shows up. Is this normal? Is there any other way to 100% block a site from all search engines?" Thank you everyone for your assistance.
And 100% block, that would be
Put it
password.
behind it. Yeah, put it behind a login.
The reason why you wouldn't use the robot.txt is because Google might partial index the test site. So if Google finds a link somewhere on the interweb, it will use the anchor text as a title and may show it in the search results. And you can also use the no index. That does mean that Google will visit the test site and crawl through the test site, but they won't show that in the search engine results. So basically the only way to prevent Google from crawling the test site and showing it in the search engine results is to have a password protected subdomain, for example, or directory, wherever the test site is located.
Right. Okay. A great series of responses on the SEO Questions community on Google+. Blade S offered your solution, guys, password protecting your site as the best way to block search engines. But also Tony Anachik and Tony McCreath, they popped in with some great responses. I said Tony doesn't have his profile picture up anymore. It's odd.
You could always host it locally if it's for development purposes, rather than letting other people have a look and say, yeah, it works on Safari, it doesn't work on IE6 or whatever. There's that open source bundle of LAMP things that you can install really easily that I haven't had on a machine for years, but presumably that's still there, still available. So I think,
Apache French?
Sorry?
Apache French?
Oh, no, that's not what I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
It was some people in Germany. It used to be, and there was a yes, for it used to be for Mac, as I'm a Mac user. XAMPP used to be the thing to install locally.
Yeah, that is.
That's it, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
As I say, I'm struggling to get this thing here. The memory is faulty. It needs stuff. Yeah. Okay. Those are them. Thank you, Edwin.
It is
Thank you,
ApacheFriends.org. It's for Mac, Linux, and Windows. So.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. All right, moving right along, Athanasius, with this clip and with the answers placed in the SEO Questions community, everything you need as the answer to this question is right there. All right, moving on to the next, we have a question from Vo Tang. And Vo said, my website has 2 URLs which rank 4 and 12 on Google search with A and B keywords. Now I want a keyword for only 2 of these URLs. I hope I'm reading this correctly. He said I create different URLs for the B keyword, but when I type the B keyword, the new URLs don't appear in search. I'm only seeing the 2 old URLs, and I want the new URL to appear above the 2 old URLs. How do I solve this problem? Thank you so much. It could just be a matter of time, though. The older URLs, might be ranking very well, and it might take some time for Google to realise that the new URL is replacing them. Another way to be certain would be to 301 from the old to the new.
I guess it's also down to how similar those keywords are. And I'm just, as I started to answer this, I see someone else has said the same thing. If they are very similar in these days of semantic search, there may be some other things about the original page that makes Google like it more than the new page. Yes, I think wait a while, see what happens, and if you're still having these problems, then figure out is B keyword more important to you than A keyword, or the other way around. Even write some more content. Compare the two pages. How good are they? Is the first page better? Does it have more information on? Is it more focused than the other one? This is one of those questions that it's quite difficult to know what to advise unless we've got some time involved and we could see the pages. But in the first place, I would wait.
Yeah. All right, Vo, I hope with those answers and also those in the SEO Questions community on Google+, you have what you need. Here's a question from Piotr Dobrozansky. Piotr, I'm going to call you Peter. Peter said, hello, I'm looking for examples of Magento-based internet shops. I'm interested in shops with good search engine optimization, good usability, sensible keyword selection, and decent long-tail positioning. Could you possibly give me links to such shops? I'd greatly appreciate your commentary on why you have chosen them. Do we have any Magento experts on our panel?
No. So I'm going to take this a little bit at a tangent here, because I've done and do quite a bit of work with e-commerce sites, internet shops. The problem with them in general is that they tend to have very, very little space for any proper content. Typically, you have under the fluffy elephants section, you have green fluffy elephants, pink fluffy elephants, blue fluffy elephants, and purple fluffy elephants. And typically what people do is they just take the two-line description from the manufacturer of said fluffy elephants and paste it all in and change one word, which is purple or green or yellow or whatever it might be. You need to have a broader view of what an internet shop is. It's not just a mechanism for showing a picture and a two-line description of said product. It's got to have a way and means to have a proper content strategy implemented around it. You need to be able to create a site that's effectively not a duplicate of a similar site from a competitor or chunks of a supplier's site. So one of the things you need to look at is, does it do more than just have a standard template that allows you to put a price and a two-line description? There are plenty of internet shop platforms out there that don't, for example, allow you to add static pages of content, or make it very, very difficult to add a news section or a blog section. So look wider than does it make it easier for me to put the products up. You're going to be looking at competing with sites that do have good content, and you want to have the ability to add some quality content to your site. That's my non answering the question.
No, that was very, very good. Although I think he's specifically wanting Magento focused.
Yes, I realise that. I'm racking my brains whether I've actually done the SEO on a Magento shop. I don't think so. And yeah, you know, there's so many so many basic shops just allow you to put some product descriptions up, and sooner or later the owners of said shops say, why aren't I ranking? I'm having to spend all this money on AdWords, and I want to rank. And then you look at it and you say, well, you can't really put any content on this. You know, I can't put how to care for a fluffy elephant, how to make your fluffy elephant immune from poachers who want fluffy tusks and such stuff. So you know, it's so many internet shops don't allow you to do much for the user, and consequently Google doesn't like it. So what I'm saying is, if Piotr looks back at find some Magento-based internet shops, what I would do actually is Google Google for Magento experts or developers who work with Magento, and look at some of their clients and examples. You can then see what's being done. You can also ask the question, you know, I want to do this. Will Magento do it?
Yep. Okay. One of the sites that we host is a Magento site, but it's not a well, it is e-commerce, but it's not your basic product site, and I'm not at liberty to disclose the URL. But you know, I don't think we've ever had a problem with it. Magento is a good platform to work on. Sorry about that. Anybody else? All right, Peter or Piotr Dobransky. I'm so sorry. I made such a bad job of pronunciation with your name. Please don't leave us because we couldn't answer your question. We'll certainly try harder next time. Although David Razam did give an excellent account of e-commerce sites. All right. Here's one. I haven't used Scrapebox, although we do scrape the SEO Questions community for the dumbseoquestions.com site. Mike Cook said, I'm getting people recommending me to use Scrapebox. Has anyone had any experience of it?
Isn't Scrapebox a rather black hat piece of software that's been around for yonks that you use for harvesting email addresses off of thousands of websites? I'm not sure. Is that Scrapebox? There is certainly something like that that's been around for donkeys.
Well, if it is an email harvester, yeah, it's a scuzzy thing to do, and the likelihood of getting conversions from a database list like that is extremely low. And also, it's a risky tactic. If people get their backup about being emailed unsolicited commercial emails, then no. But look, to be honest, I don't use Scrapebox. I've never tried it.
Yes, I'm just done a quick Google here, and Scrapebox.com describes oh, hang on, sorry, I've just gone through to the site. It's pretty slow for some reason. It talks about being the the complete harvesting solution. No more manually looking up URLs when doing computer, competitor, or product research. Add your custom trainable harvester. Multiple rotating proxies. URL collection and list management. Ping mode.
In other words,
send
a creator of duplicate content.
Auto comments to WordPress, movable type, and blog engine. It sounds like an extremely black hat tool. It's more or less what I thought it was. Depends what you want to do with it. Do something nasty with it, and you're liable to get clobbered in some way.
Okay, Mike. I hope that's the answer that you were looking for. All right, here's a question from P. Zoo. P said, what are the most important SEO factors that a new site should have before going online? And are backlinks the most important ranking factor in Google's eyes? Thank you. What are the most important SEO factors that a new site should have?
Well, a new site shouldn't have links. It's just, if a brand new site that's gone live, it shouldn't have any links to it. And then obviously they can slowly build up. But yes, links are important, relevant links. But a new site that's just gone live shouldn't have a single link to it. If a new site and a domain that's just gone live, and all of a sudden there's like 10,000-ish links on there, you know, you're going to have a penalty slapped on you faster than you can say penalty. So basically, for me, it would be the correct structure, site structure. All your titles are all your page titles are unique and informative. All your pages have a decent description. If it's got products, I would make sure that you know, your checkout works, everything works seamlessly. I'd make sure that I have markup, schema markup for organization, local business, and product markup. I'd make sure that all my internal navigation is absolutely spot on. I'd make sure that my sitemap is ready to go, so when it goes live it can be submitted straight to Webmaster Tools. I would double check my robots text files just to make sure that everything's in order. Once it goes live, you can double check that in Webmaster Tools to make sure you aren't unnecessarily blocking anything. Yeah, and then you're pretty much ready to go live.
Excellent.
Yeah, I would, for new sites, I would check how Google is crawling and indexing the site. It wouldn't be the first time that when you launch a test site that the no index meta tag is still there, or other issues. So I will check if this indexed.
I have to confess, Edwin, I've done that a number of times. One of them I didn't pick up for months. Yeah, it's so easy to robots text out of sight or meta no index tags, and then when you finally do go live and launch, you totally forget them. It can punish you.
But it's not the end of the world. Just remove it and resubmit the sitemap, and Google will crawl through it.
Yeah. Anybody else? Okay, appease you. I hope you're happy with that. All right, so we've done it again. For yet another week, we've answered all of the questions asked on the SEO Questions community on Google+. Now we move on to our SEO News community. Each week we post items of interest in the SEO News community, and after we've answered our questions each week, we discuss them in the SEO Weekly News Roundup. This one was posted by Edwin Yong, talking about the new agreement between Twitter and Google to publish and index tweets in search engine results pages. Actually, Edwin posted a post made by Masataki Wasa about it, and Masataki asked, who's going to benefit more from this arrangement?
I haven't seen anything from Twitter in the anything new like the Google used the Twitter Firehose in their real-time search. That was a vertical search engine specific for tweets, and you could find the most relevant tweets in real time on Google. But in 2011, they cancelled the deal with Twitter, and Google real-time search was pretty much gone. But as far as I know, it's not back. So, do you think Google would do something similar now, or?
I think that's the intention.
Yeah, I think so too.
Mr. Taki, how did you read that?
When they closed in 2011, a couple of Googlers really regretted that it closed down.
Yeah, so if I remember correctly, there was a sort of panel, wasn't there, in the search engine results where you saw the most recent tweets on a particular hashtag or related to the search query. So I suppose something similar is going to come back. It's going to be interesting. Will they be showing promoted tweets? I mean, the ones that Twitter is being paid for example. So I haven't read the details, so I cannot say. But it will be interesting to ask the question, who needs it more, who wants it more, and who's going to benefit more from this arrangement. Obviously, both parties do see that they're going to benefit from the arrangement, but I'm just wondering which one is going to benefit more.
Yeah. All right. So will we move on to the next, guys? I'm going to record that as a yes. Now we have an article. I hope Tim Capper is off the phone because it's an article that Tim posted on Google Plus for Business, or Google for Business page. Any comments on this? Apart from the fact that it's a very good article.
Well, it's just, local SEO is often misinterpreted in terms of the actual businesses doing it themselves, in the sense that they don't realize that there's a structure to it, and they tend to sort of willy-nilly mishmash, a couple of directories here, a couple of directories there, and the latest thing. So what this does is just kind of hopefully give them a more structured approach. So to local citations, why, when, and where. Page titles are very important, which a lot of, I see far too many websites out there which still don't have a page title. Now, I can't obviously blame the business for that in that sense. That in that it's the web developer. I don't understand how a developer can build a site for a business and not actually say to that business, what would you like it to look like in the terms of the search results for your home page? Am I just going to leave it at home? I mean, so wow, it just begs belief. Also, the fact that business owners don't understand that your page title is what you see in a search result, and if it just says home, you're not attracting anyone. So it's little things like that businesses just seemingly work. You need to work through from the first step to the next step and just follow a logical progression. Of course, there's things like schema now, which certainly recommend for any local business, which would be your address on site, marked up. Now there's a lot of different schema now that is obviously recognized within the search engines. You have stores, pharmacies, furniture stores, or you could simply just opt for a more generic one, which would be local business markup. Are you e-commerce? A local business that actually has products to sell online. If so, there's product schema markup. So overall, this article was just, kind of giving local businesses what to look at, and to progress through these things. In a step-by-step fashion, and not kind of mishmash. Here's a directory, there's a directory link, and kind of leave it at that. You need to have a little bit of passion. Anyone can really do this. Just take your time and work your way through it. And yeah, yep. There you go.
Good article, Tim. All right. Any other comments on Tim's article? You can find, if you're following along at home, you can find that article on onlineownership.com. Here's one. It's not really an SEO question, but uses a saying that something highly problematic happens after the term Muslim is Googled. Is this sinister, guys, or just a natural consequence? It's listing an imam named Chowdhury, who's connected with the Islamic State, ISIS. No comments? Moving on. We've reached the end yet again. Okay, well, look, we'll go to Green Room now. For those 4 viewers still watching us at the moment, thank you very, very much. Your participation makes what we do worthwhile, and we're truly grateful. We'll be back at the same time next week to do it all again. And just remember that if you want something discussed, you can post it in our SEO news community, or if you have an SEO question, you can post it in our SEO Questions community. I'm prattling on because I'm just trying to find my mouse. Okay, I've found it. We'll see you next week. Thanks very much.